Hey everyone, welcome back to the Rouge Reader. With the recent launch of Grey Cup On Demand by Marks, I thought it would be appropriate today to review a piece of literature that examines the Grey Cup during its formative years. From 1909, when collegiate and amateur teams would challenge for the championship, up until 1955, the first time the Grey Cup game was played in Western Canada, this piece does an excellent job in examining and capturing the highs and lows both on and off the field. So please join me today as we take a look at 1955's The Grey Cup Story by Jack Sullivan. The Grey Cup Story by Jack Sullivan is a 72-page magazine that provides the reader with a historical overview of the Canadian Championships between the years 1909 and 1954. In addition to this historical overview, readers can expect smaller articles on such subjects as the business side of the Grey Cup, as well as the impact the weather has had on the game. I believe the Grey Cup Story was intended as an annual publication. However, we wouldn't see an update until Jack Sullivan released the 1972 novel, The Grey Cup Story, which built upon and added to the history that was captured in the 1955 edition. The Grey Cup Story portion of this magazine is only about 34 pages, but within those 34 pages, Mr. Sullivan does an outstanding job of capturing the action on the field, as well as detailing the growing pains experienced off the field. For newer fans picking up this magazine back in 1955, the descriptions of the on-field action can be quite intimidating. However, the Grey Cup Story does a great job of mitigating this by including a section on commonly used Canadian football formations. Once you get past the historical section of the Grey Cup Story, Mr. Sullivan then breaks down the remainder of the magazine into articles on a variety of topics, with a large focus being on the business of the Grey Cup. One of my favorite sections of the magazine was the yearly breakdown of the attendance and gate receipts for the Grey Cup games, because you can see a lot of inconsistencies in attendance up until 1944. Now, the Grey Cup itself didn't really become a big business for host cities until 1948, when the Calgary Stampeders traveled east to Toronto to challenge the Ottawa Rough Riders for the crown. Now, the game's almost kind of secondary to what 1948 signified. Calgary won 12-7, but more importantly, they helped usher in the kind of start of the Grey Cup weekend and the festivities that we've all come to know, expect, and love from the CFL today. After you've made your way through a variety of articles, Jack Sullivan winds down the Grey Cup Story by listing out all the winners of the big game, dating back to 1892 when it was known as the Canadian Championship. Going that extra mile, Mr. Sullivan also lists out the winners for the Big Four, Western Interprovincial Football Union, the Ontario Rugby Football Union, and the intercollegiate divisions as well. Not just satisfied with providing winners of the big game, Mr. Sullivan also takes a look at award winners of the day, as well as individual and team records. So if you wanted to know who had the longest individual touchdown return in Grey Cup history up until 1954, this is the magazine that could provide that for you back in the day. The Grey Cup Story is a fun and quick read, with Jack Sullivan masterfully capturing the atmosphere of those formative years. You can find this one on eBay, at a secondhand bookstore, or even at a garage sale. I highly recommend you pick it up and add it to your collection. Next time on the channel, we'll be reviewing something a little more modern as we take a look at a 2019 offering that examines the impact one American team had on the Canadian game back in the mid-90s. Until then, this has been the Rouge Reader.